It was the summer of 1987, and I had just taken a job at a small psychiatric hospital on the outskirts of a quiet New England town. The hospital was old, the kind of place where the walls whispered with the echoes of past patients, carrying secrets too dark for daylight. My job was mostly at night, the shift that nurses often avoided. The halls were dimly lit, casting long shadows that seemed to flicker as if breathing. I was responsible for checking on patients, ensuring they were safe in their rooms, asleep or at least calm. One night, not long after I had started, a thunderstorm knocked out the power. Emergency lights flicked on, casting an eerie, pulsating glow. I was making my rounds with a flashlight, the beam cutting through the blackness, when I heard it, a soft, wet gurgling sound coming from one of the rooms down the hall. I moved toward the noise, my heart thumping in my chest, reminding myself it was just a patient, perhaps in need of help. But nothing could have prepared me for what I saw. The room belonged to a patient known for his violent outbursts, but he was usually securely restrained at night. That night, though, he had somehow freed one of his arms. In his hand was a chunk of his own flesh, torn from his forearm, blood oozing between his fingers as he brought it to his mouth. Frozen in horror, I watched as he chewed, blood trickling down his chin. His eyes, wild and unfocused, suddenly snapped to mine, aware of my presence. For a moment we just stared at each other, the only sounds the storm outside and his grotesque chewing. I backed away slowly, my mind racing. I called for help on the walkie-talkie, my voice shaking. Assistance arrived, and we managed to restrain him again and tend to his horrific self-inflicted wounds. I was shaken, questioning everything about the safety and sanity of my chosen profession. As I lay in bed after my shift, waiting for sleep that never came, I could not shake the image of his eyes, the depth of madness they contained. The darkness in them seemed too deep, too vast to be merely human. It was a look that whispered secrets I never wanted to know, secrets that lurked in the shadowed corners of that old hospital. The incident was hushed up, explained away by the staff as just another hazard of the job. But for me, it was a visceral reminder of the thin line between sanity and madness, and how easily it could be crossed. The rest of my time at that hospital was marked by an unease that clung to me, a shadow I couldn't shake off. And sometimes, in the dark of night, I still hear the soft, wet, gurgling sound of human flesh being torn apart, and I wonder just how deep the darkness goes.